Oh yeah, beauty. This one has been a long time coming. Apex Theropod deck building game. If there's one thing I love, dinosaurs. And I've been looking to try and get this for ages. So, first edition was 2015. Second edition, 2016. If you try and buy either of those, expect to pay a large sum of money. So then, Kickstarter went up for this one. This one is the collected edition, no less. That is, it is the original Apex Theropod game, base game, and all of the expansions, all in the one big giant hefty box. So, what can we expect in that box? I'm glad you asked. I will tell you. The original box had, wait for it, it had 525 base cards. That was just the base game. The expansions added another 515 cards. How many cards is that? Come on, quick, 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 quick. 1040. There is 1040 cards in this box. Insane. So, I will have a quick run through some of the things that were in the box. Now, I'm probably going to butcher some of the dinosaur names. Paleontologists out there are going to have to just forgive me. So the original editions had Acrocanthosaurus, Carnotaurus, Gigantosaurus, Spinosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, Utahraptor and Velociraptor. So that and any other cards required made up the 525. So you then had the expansions. So the expansions were, in this case, these ones were 70 cards each. Stomping Grounds, Suchomimus, Saurophaganax, that's a tough one, Therizinosaurus and Megalodon. All 70 each. There was then Exotic Predators, 80 cards each. Quetzalcoatlus and Sarcosuchus. Then 40 cards each and 45 cards each. What could be better than dinosaurs? What was that? Zombie dinosaurs. Okay, the Stomping Dead, 45 cards. What could be better than zombie dinosaurs? You're right. Robot dinosaurs. Promethean Wars was 40 cards. So the expansion was 515 cards. All of that is in this whopping big box. Whew, that's a lot. Picking up this box just about gave me a hernia. So I'm going to show you the board and I'll show you the different bits and pieces. We'll look at the different decks and what they do, and then at the end we'll go through some of the artwork, because the artwork is phenomenal. I dread to think how long it took the artist to make all of these illustrations. I dread to think. Right, here is the board. Looks awfully complicated, but it's not really, honestly. Right, I'll show you each of the things, what they do to come together to make the game, and then we'll take a closer look. Right, so first up here is the environment deck. This environment deck is the environment that you're in. So you turn a card, that card is inevitably going to do bad things. Then you have the hunt deck. These are all the dinosaurs that you could potentially hunt over here on the actual game trail. This one here is your evolve deck, which populates this evolve pool. This is the kind of things that you would be kind of buying to upgrade your species, if you like. Over here we have cards that are just going to mark things on the board. There's nothing important there. These ones are alert cards. They are bad. These ones are an affliction deck, wounds and so on. Very bad. And I'll tell you how all this ties up in a minute. So I put my hand of cards here. It's 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is for placing an ambush. It's a draw pile. This is where I'm taking these cards from. This is the cards that I'm playing. Nothing at the moment. Discard pile. So anything that I've played and that kind of thing goes into discard pile. Discard pile gets shuffled and becomes your new draw pile. Apex deck. This is your upgraded species, if you like. These are your big bad guys, like these two, that you want to be able to buy these. So these are effectively 2 eggs in a hatchery. You want to have the evolve points to be able to buy these things, to get them into your deck, into your hand, and be able to use them. Anything that you hunt from the game trail ends up down here in your hoard. Again, you can use their points to buy stuff. Once you've used them, they go into your den and they become effectively brownie points at the end of the game. Right, let's have a look at each of these things and I'll show you what they do. Oh, well, remember, if any cards are eliminated from the game, they go up here. Right, environment deck. Everything in the game is interlinked. So the environment, the game trail, evolve, alert cards, the whole lot all affects each other. So you get cards like these. This first one is just, oops, sorry, that's the bottom. First one is Emergence. Emergence is just, starts you off easy. Hatch a card, draw a card, and ambush effects don't take effect, so on the game trail. So a couple of easy cards to start you off. Ultimately, as you saw there, Extinction. That's the last card. So these cards are your timer, but it will also mess things up because you can have different cards that'll do different things. So I'll grab some other ones here. So for example, this one, Arctic Blast. All cards in the game trail are eliminated, and various other bad things that it'll do. Predation. Eliminate an egg in your hand. You know, this kind of stuff. So it affects you or it affects the game trail. Hot Springs. You may discard any number of Apex cards in your hand to eliminate an equal number of Affliction cards. So that one's actually not bad because it's letting you take bad things out of your deck. So the whole environment deck usually is bad news, but yeah, there are a couple that are not bad. So, next one, Hunt deck. The book goes through how you set it up, and you pick a dinosaur that you want to be. You can have easy, medium and hard games. You pick a boss who is going to be the ultimate thing that you need to beat to become the apex predator. So somewhere in that deck is a boss card, and you're ultimately going to have to fight that, defeat it to win the game. But when you're putting out these cards, you put out card there, you do what it tells you on alert. Sorry, ambush. Then you put that one, do what it tells you for ambush, so on and so on. So as you put out the game trail, again, things will change. Example, this guy, Archaeopteryx. As soon as I put that card down, I need to do this ambush. Now, with the first 3 cards, you don't do the ambush, but normally you would. Ambush, take an egg from your hand or discard pile and place it under this card. So this guy's going to steal an egg straight away. The ambush, this guy, he is going to ambush. You're going to have to reveal points in your hand and potentially eliminate cards. Now also there are hunt and alert and various other bits and bobs. So this is where it's great, because this reacts to what it's doing and it reacts to what you're doing with your cards in your hand. I'll come to the alert bit in a minute, ambush in a minute, but let's say you set up an ambush. You've got 3 cards in your ambush. When you do an ambush, you must take one of these alert cards into your discard pile. So that alert card is going to end up in your hand at some point. When it does suddenly appear in your hand, you are going to lose your ambush, and these cards are going to react by doing whatever it says on the alert section. So if I have a cracking ambush set up, ready to go, and then all of a sudden I get that damn alert card, what's going to happen is, this guy, it says this card is recycled. So straight away, he's going to fly off. This guy won't do anything. This guy, it says, gains a defensive stance, which is one of the cards just over there. It means that you can't hunt this guy. He's going to be completely in defense, untouchable. And this guy won't do anything. He's okay with alerts. So this reacts to what you're doing as well, which is phenomenal. It is a cracking idea. It does other bits and bobs as well, but that is really good. Next, this evolve pile. This is your upgrades that you want to buy. When you hunt these guys, you get to use these blue points. How much it costs to hunt those guys is the orange at the top. So when you, say, bump off this guy, you get 5 points. I may have another 2 or 3 in my hand. I can then use those points to try and buy some of these. So you're buying eggs, they're going to get you potentially dinosaurs hatched for the Apex decks. I'll show you that in a minute. You can have things like metabolic growth. You may gain one of your hatchlings from the elimination pile, which would be up there. Rapid incubation, hatch 4 cards, and various other bits and bobs. So these are the things that you want to try and get into your deck to get extra bonuses and get your species up to snuff so that you can beat the boss. The boss in this case, I will try and find the guy. Where is he? Where is he? I know you're in here somewhere. Somewhere. Oh, duh, right here. Maposaurus. So, try and keep it in focus would be nice. And you get some nice text here. From South America 95 million years ago. Boss battle conditions. Different conditions for every boss, but you really need to have enough oomph to make sure you can hit this guy, because otherwise he's going to give you affliction cards, ultimately messing you up. So he's the big bad boss. Right, I shall show you the Affliction Deck while we're up here. Affliction Deck is just bad stuff that can land in your hand, such as Flesh Wound, Broken Bone. You need to eliminate an Apex card, some other bits and bobs. Let's see what else we got. Oh, there's a virus that just kind of gets stuck in your hand for a while. And you have a Fatal Pathogen. Eliminate an Apex card and a Dynamic Vitality in your discard pile. So those do bad things. Mostly they just pad up your hand, taking up space that you would rather have something nice. Right, this section here is your player board. This bit here is the hand of cards that I have. 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So you have a draw pile. Again, the book tells you how to make up the draw pile. Initially it's 12 cards in this case. So I've got 6 and there's 6 left. If I was going to do an ambush, I would put the cards in here. This is the Apex deck, and that's a couple of cards from it just to show you them. These are your upgrades. So you start off here with, you know, a hatchling and a juvenile. So the hatchling and juvenile, they're only just, you know, 1 point, 2 points. can't do much. We could attack that Archaeopteryx with a 1, but if we wanted to try and take on something bigger, no chance. These guys can do more damage. This guy can do 5 damage. This guy can't do much damage, but he's got an ability for the ambush point. So you want to buy these to get bigger and badder dinosaurs. So as well as buying these, you're looking to buy these, because they are ultimately what you need to defeat the boss. If I hunt something from the game trail, it goes in here. I can also use that 1 point if I want to buy something. Once I've bought that, it goes into the den. It really just becomes brownie points. There's a teeny tiny number there. You probably won't even see it if I zoom in, but it's got a 1, so that would be worth 1 point at the end. A victory point, if you like. Discard pile. Everything that I've played in the game to here goes into the discard pile. Discard pile gets shuffled, becomes a draw pile. Right, so, quick example, right? Let's say I decide I'm going to set up an ambush with these 2 guys, right? So that'll get me 3 attack points next time. I can't use them this time, but next time. So I put them into an ambush. With an ambush, I must take an alert card. So that alert card goes into my discard pile. Now, let's say I then play this card, hatch an egg. I can hatch an egg. So we'll say, let's say I hatch this guy, right? So he sits there. I've not got him. He's hatching. Maybe if I can hatch this egg, I can get this guy. You may draw a card. So let's draw another card. I have a prey carcass, so I now have 3 of these guys. Now, the problem comes in that, let's say we're near the end of the turn. I now have to draw 6 cards for my next hand. There's only 5 left in there. So my 6th card is going to be that alert card. So my next hand would be these cards. I must play that alert card in the next turn. That then screws up my ambush. My ambush then goes into the discard. I've lost that. And because the ambush is activated, I would need to activate the ambush on the game trail. So if I activate the ambush on this game trail, this guy, alert. If I do the alert, this card gets recycled. So this guy has left. He's gone. He goes to the bottom of the deck. Nothing for this guy. Alert. This guy gets a defensive stance. So, in comes that card, and you cannot hunt this guy now. And this guy doesn't do anything. So you can see how that alert card screwed up my ambush, made this guy fly off, and this guy is now in defense and cannot be hunted. So the whole thing all comes together as one big massive screw up at times. So it's great how it all interlinks. It doesn't just have one thing and you go, oh, something bad has happened and that's it. No. Screws up your hand, screws up your plan, and screws this up here as well. Right. Here's how the game looks when you set it up. Right. First thing you do is you take a draw pile and you take 6 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the 6 cards that I am starting with. Not the greatest, but I have 3 attack and I have 6 that I can use for buying evolve stuff. So, got my 6 cards. First thing you do after that is the environment card. In this case, I have coastal flooding. For this round only, a disaster area card is placed in footprint 1. So that means one of these is in there. No dinosaur can go in there, just for this round. All players may take an apex card from their discard pile, which I don't have any, and add it to their ambush point over here, without gaining the alert card. So, it's bad, it's good, not the greatest. Could be worse. Next thing, populate the game trail. So there's only going to be 3 this time rather than 4, but first one, Astrodon, and Hunt, so don't have to do anything with that. Next one, Ankylosaurus, just a hunt, don't have to do anything. And this one, that's quite difficult to read, Camptosaurus I think it says. And it has an alert and a hunt, so no ambush, all good. Any of those have an ambush, you've got to do that straight away. Next thing, Evolve Pool. Again, 4, 3, 2 and 1. If I had an alert card in my hand over here, then I would have to play that and it would affect this guy. So if I had an alert card, this guy would do all prey, big game and titan cards, which tells you the titles on the sides. All prey, big game and titan cards are recycled in the game trail, including this one. So prey and big game, so all 3 of these cards would go back into the bottom of that deck and there would be nothing. So the alert card would really have screwed that up. Thankfully, didn't have one. Next thing is if you want to set up an ambush, you can put up to 3 cards. You can put them into the ambush point, but you have to take a dreaded alert card. Now, once you move on, you can't set up an ambush, so you have to decide now, ambush or not. Next bit, evolve cards. I only have carcass cards and the apex cards. If, for example, let's say I did have this in my hand, I would play it and it says, hatch a card, you may draw a card. Why would you not want to draw a card? Well, if you know there's an alert card in there somewhere, you say, nah, I may not. But in this case, you hatch a card from the apex deck. So the egg is in the hatchery. It might hatch if I've got the points. And I can draw another card, which would be a hatchling to go in there. So, but I don't have that card. So no evolve cards. If any of these were in my hand, I would play them. Right, then you decide, okay, am I going to go hunting? Well, I only have 3, but I could hunt this guy. So he is a 2. It tells you here, a 2. So if I use 2, this juvenile, I can hunt this guy. Now, he has a hunt thing at the bottom, which says, the alert effect on all cards in the game trail is activated against you, left to right. So, we will say I have hunted this guy, he is mine. Alert effects, left to right. There's nothing in this guy, nothing in this guy, so sound, all good. Whew. Next bit, purchase. This is where I can use, this hatchling is now defunct, you use it or lose it. But we'll do that in a minute. Now, I have 3, 4, 5, 6 points that I can use in the evolve, or if there was anything here. I can also use the 3 on this guy. So in theory, I could activate 9. So let's say this guy was out. He's a 4. So I could use 4 to hunt this guy. I would still have 5 left. I could buy an egg and I could buy metabolic growth. Right, so let's say I do that. Right, so I'm going to cash in. I'm going to say 4, get me this guy, he goes into discard. I'm then going to spend 2 to get me an egg, goes into the discard, and I'm going to cash in this guy, and he's going to get me metabolic growth. But what I could do is just say no, I'm going to keep this guy, I'm not going to cash him in yet. I need to cash in the cards in my hand, but I don't have to cash in this guy. So we'll say, yeah, okay, we'll go with that. So last part is that you play any remaining cards. So if it was an affliction or something, you know, if I had a flesh wound, then I would have to play it. Doesn't do anything in this case, it just takes up space, but I would have to play it, so that goes in there. So I don't get rid of that flesh wound, I keep it, it stays with me unless I can get something that is an evolve card or something that says you can discard a card of your choice, at which point that's going to be high on the list. So play all your remaining cards. We'll say I've played them anyway, just for an example. So we then take these cards, they go to the discard pile. We draw 6 new cards. Now obviously the numbers are going to be screwed up here because I've messed about, but I have 6 left, and I would have 4 attack, 1 for evolve, and an egg that I can hatch next time. That's my hand for the next bit. Anything that was sitting here, so let's say this guy was unsuccessful, he gets recycled. Recycled means flipped, bottom of the deck. We then do the same idea up here for the game trail. So the rightmost card gets recycled. So this guy goes in the bottom of the deck. This guy gets slid up. Normally the disaster area stays, but that was only for 1 round, so get rid of that. Rightmost card gets recycled, and they slide up. That is it. That is a full turn. Whew. Do it all again. You take another evolve card, environment card, see what bad things happen, repopulate the trail, repopulate the evolve pool, bum 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 bum. Try and defeat the boss. Whew. And it's tough. It is hard because it takes a lot of points before you can even hope to damage the boss. And you have to do a heck of a lot of damage to some of the other ones. It is insane. So, that's the game. Let's have a look at some of the cards because the artwork, as I say, is amazing. That's a lot of cards. And that doesn't include the ones that are obviously out at the moment. So, I mentioned the Affliction Deck. We'll look at some of these. Suchomimus. Suchomimus. I'll try and get this to refocus. Hopefully that's a bit better. But as I say, the artwork is phenomenal. And there's loads and loads of illustrations. You know, you get obviously duplicates because you get the same card. But of course, you're going to put the same thing on a hatchling. Abomination. And it tells you on the side of the card here, Apex and Suchomimus, so you know where to put the cards basically. Water Dragon. So we won't go through them all, but creepers. So I mean, all these illustrations, and this is just one dinosaur. You know, there's loads. Suchomimus. We'll go for Gigantosaurus. So Suchomimus, Acrocanthosaurus, Carnotaurus and Gigantosaurus are all listed as easy. It means that the game will be a bit easier. The bosses won't be any easier, but the game will be. Harvester. Opportunist. Fluffy hatchling with a wee dragonfly. Hunter killer. Oops, harvester again. Pack hunter. So I mean, juvenile. Fluffy dinosaur. One good thing about the illustrations as well, obviously I am nowhere close to being an expert on these things. I can't even pronounce half of them. I'd love to. But the illustrations are done, it would seem to be scientifically correct. So the dinosaurs don't have this, this is an example that it's done right. It's palm to palm. Things like Jurassic Park have got them with broken wrists. That's the right way. So stuff like that is good. They've done it right. And they haven't slapped feathers on everything. Which is another thing I hate. When people just slap feathers on it. Oh, it's a dinosaur. Should have feathers. No. Right, let's see. Try and get them back in there. Everyone's favourite. The old Tyrannosaurus. Tyrannosaurus, Velociraptor, Saurophaganax are moderate. National Tracker, Monarch, none of your feathers in the T-Rex. I like it. And again, the T-Rex, let's try and find one here, again is, palm to palm, none of your broken wrist nonsense. Punisher, taking no nonsense from, looks like it's attacking Spinosaurus maybe. Veteran, that's Tyrannosaurus. So I won't go through them all. Velociraptor, I believe is a proper Velociraptor, yes. So again, the Velociraptor that's in Jurassic Park is not a Velociraptor. I believe it's a Utahraptor idea, or Deinonychus maybe? But yes, your proper Velociraptor would be a giant chicken. Vanguard, Veteran, Vengeance, looking rather scary. Pathfinder, for the Swarm, and again, no broken wrists, all good. If I do Utahraptor, then Utahraptor is more in line with the Jurassic Park idea of a Velociraptor. Scout, Sentinel, Omega, Juvenile, and again you can see how the hands are palm to palm, all good, not going overboard with the feathers, I'm liking it. Adult, big giant dangerous chicken, I'm liking it. Utahraptor, not Velociraptor right enough, but same idea. Good old Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus, Therizinosaurus, Carcharodonton are hard. So, hatchling, lurker. The old Spinosaurus really is a weird looking beast. Tempest. Lurking again. Brute. So, in fact, this one's an example of where you're getting a +3 attack when it's played from an ambush point. So again, you'd be thinking, ooh, buy that, if I can get my ambush to work. Right. Right, battery nearly went there. Right, let's have a look at Quetzalcoatlus and Sarcosuchus are listed as brutal. So that's nice. Oops, don't need that card. Quetzalcoatlus, I believe, is not even technically a dinosaur, but it is pretty awesome. So we're going to go with it. Drone. Hatchling. Sky Pirates. More Sky Pirates. Banshee. Veteran. Raider. So, as you can see, artwork is phenomenal. Let's see, we'll go for a quick look at the Stomping Dead, which would be zombie ones. These are all listed as infected. Some sort of pterodon, maybe? Pteranodon, sorry. Ravager. Ghoul. So I haven't used any of these in the game yet. Rising of the Dead. Dun dun dun. That's the boss. Patriarch. If you have 0 through 4 attack points, then you lose the game. The end. If you have 5 through 9, you need to eliminate 2 apex cards, and this card gains an affliction card, but the battle continues. So this guy's got 12 points, which is an insane amount. If you have 10 plus attack, then you gain 2 affliction cards, and this card gains an affliction card. Battle continues. So again, you have to keep trying to get affliction cards onto the bosses to bump them off. That guy's going nowhere. Holy Jesus. Right, and there's other cards as well, minions and all sorts up there, but I'm not going to get through them all. This is the Promethean Wars, which is robot dinosaurs. These are marked as Alpha, Apex, Sentinel. Right, okay, it's just came flashing back to me. Who remembers Zoids? Anybody? Anybody remember Zoids? Oh, okay. In fact, what was the name of the robot Transformers, the dinosaur Transformers? Ah, crap. I'm going to have to go and look that up. There was definitely dinosaurs. Grimlock was the name of one of them. There was definitely dinosaur Transformers. I remember that. I am not making this up. Go and ask your mum and dad. Go on. So where's the... And I don't think I passed the boss for this one. Did I pass the boss for this one? I might have. Whatever. Probably passed the boss for it. Oh yeah, there's usually an environment card and a couple other bits and bobs in these to swing them into action. But I never noticed a boss card. Ah well. Anyway, go and look up Zoids. Go and look up the Transformers that were dinosaurs. It was a thing, honest. When you set up the game, you set it up and you pick a boss. And these are bosses. So, you know, Deinonychus, Tarbosaurus, Utahraptor, Allosaurus, that one's really hard to read with the font Hatzegopteryx, maybe, Spinosaurus, blah 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 blah. And with that, in fact, I'll show you the book actually. Hang on. Because when you set it up, it tells you that you set it up and you have your Evolve deck, your Affliction deck, how many cards to put in it, blah 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 blah. But it tells you here that you have to pick your boss. So you pick 5 random big game, 5 random prey, 2 menace, 2 titan, 1 predator, and a boss. You have to look at what the boss is and then get the relevant minions, because you have a whole bunch of minions that go with the boss so that you don't get an easy deal of things. Oh no, my sponges are coming out and everything's all going to go haywire. Nope, saved it. So it'll tell you there, minion, and that goes with Deinonychus. So they all go with Deinonychus, you know, that kind of thing. So some of them have only got a couple of minions. Tyrannosaurus got 2 minions, but Tyrannosaurus is a monster in itself. And then you got Titanoceratops, it's got 4 minions, that kind of thing. Anyway, I've rabbited on long enough about this. It's amazing. I think it's amazing. I don't care what anybody says. Go and buy Apex Theropod because it's dinosaurs. Need I say more?